When discussing different ways of learning and different types of delivery for education, a flipped classroom is ideal if we want our students to be able to learn outside the classroom as well as practicing inside the classroom. So a flipped classroom is essentially where the learning takes place as the homework and the practice takes place in the physical classroom. And it is so imperative to plan and plan and plan when you're flipping a classroom. The benefits of flipping a classroom is that the material is still being delivered by the instructor, but when the practice takes place, the instructor's in the room, or when anything practical is taking place, the instructor's actually there. My experience is with mathematics and science, so being in the room and able to help the students with the homework allows them to learn much more easily and allows them to understand their homework without having to struggle through the questions by themselves if they don't have someone at home to help them. The planning is essential because you're going to have a lot of extra time in class because the whole lesson has pretty much taken place outside of the classroom. So different ways or different strategies to take up this extra time by providing like a challenge question at the start of class, and then actually having the students work in groups or work by themselves, and they will complete a solution and discuss it with the class as to how they've come to their final answer. You can also provide open-ended questions and activities on a certain topic. So in your lesson that they have to use at home, you can provide questions and activities for the students to think about, which will then allow them to bring it back to the room and work with their peers to answer these questions. The other thing that the planning is really needed for is delivering the lessons. While they're still instructor driven, there's little to no conversation typically in a flipped classroom because not all of the students are able to take in the information at the same time. It needs to be accessible at any time. So lessons need to be very carefully planned out to engage the students and not be too long. For my experience, I've used videos, and keeping them under 10 minutes in length seems to be long enough to keep the interest of the students and allow them to get the material that they need. I'm just going to show you quickly an example. I've flipped a grade 11 physics classroom with the assistance of Kevin Donkers at Preston High School in Cambridge. The way that this has worked is we have a whole bunch of skeleton notes. So these notes look something like this. This is our resonance and standing wave note, where the students will have a sheet of paper which has an example on it. It's got some other information, and it's got some of the key concepts. And then actually what we do is we provide a video of each of the notes where we've gone through the note, and here's one of the videos. I'm not going to actually play it for you, but we go through the note and we explain what resonance is. If you look back here, there's resonance. The next part will be an example of resonance. So we talk about what it actually is, how it goes through it, and everything that we would be saying in class or putting on the board, we've included in our videos. We then would provide any examples and go through it with the students so that they can kind of see the examples. Something like this. So the students would be then copying this into their skeleton note that they would have printed off. There's also an example question typically that's at the end. Now normally, so in this question, pretty much the whole question was answered in the video. However, a lot of the times there will be an extra question, or we may not have answered question C and have the students answer it themselves. That way we can talk about it at the start of class. While most of the learning is done through these videos and the skeleton notes, I found that it was a lot better if I took up the whole note in about a 5-minute summary at the start of a 75-minute class. So while they've already gone home, they've already learned all about resonance and standing waves from the note and the video. And we've actually also included little applets that they can go on and kind of consolidate their learning. Sometimes it's better if they actually have me stand in front of them at the start of class with a very strong background from using these tools, but also then allowing me to bring everything together for them. The last thing that we have here is a hit list or hit list questions. And these are actually just questions about all of the things that the students are learning. So these are regularly assigned homework questions that the students would be doing. And in addition to these, I would provide a challenge question on the board each day. I found that it worked very well for a math or physics kind of room, that you can give them the ideas and then there is straight practice. More planning, again, would have to go into classes that have a looser system than a math or a physics room. Thank you.